Hello. Can you hear me? Listeners, can you hear me? Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful. How are we feeling tonight? Day 10. Day 10. There's so many different practices to explore. This is slowly becoming I'll jibber jab for like 2 more minutes and then we'll go into practice. I'm starting to look forward to this time very much. Let's turn on the ambiance a little bit more here. There we go. Look forward to this time with you all each day, dropping into ourselves, settling the mind, coming back into conscious contact with that immovable, invincible place. Some people call it the soul. I would call it the soul, the facet of consciousness that is within the boundaries of our body, the boundaries of our sensation. And we got some fun, more in-depth practices going to come this next week. But tonight, I really wanted to work with the navel a little bit. Sometimes people get scared, students get scared when a teacher says, all right, we're going to work with the navel, because that typically is what yogis say when we're going to do core work. But there's this facet of ourselves. There's this really deep stability that comes when we focus and unlock the power at our navel, the nabi plexus. There's it's the gut brain. It's like there's so many nerve endings that end in the brain, end in the gut, excuse me. And there's a plexus there, the solar plexus, if you will, Manipura chakra, the navel chakra, and there's so much energy that gets trapped in this particular portion of the body. And it's where a lot of our transmutation begins, the transformation, the assimilation of nutrients. The digestion itself is a powerful mechanism, metabolizing our experience, not just our food, but our experience, our emotions. And so when we can tap into the power of the navel, it can settle our mind really quick. And that's the point of conscious relaxation, is we want to be able to have like calmness throughout the body, but we want to have energy. We want to be awake, alert, but not like panicked, not in a sympathetic nervous response. So the point of conscious relaxation is to have a good amount of energy, but being relaxed with that energy. So then we can focus it into the different facets of our life that we'd like to, and our different pursuits, creative pursuits, relationship pursuits, whatever. And so as we start to unlock this power of the navel, it also brings clarity of mind. It drops us down into the body, and it helps us to stay embodied in our truthful identity. The truthful identity beyond the panic, beyond the anxiety, beyond the unrest, beyond the distractions of the mind, or beneath all of that, if you will. So we're going to do a practice that is commonly called Agni Sara. It is a fire practice. Um, but that's okay, because fire is what we need sometimes, right? That's okay. Yeah. Um, so we're going to work with the navel in a way today, and then later this week we'll work with breath of fire a little bit. Today, the practice, Agni Sara, we take a deep inhale, and we hold the breath in, and then we pump the belly like we're doing breath of fire, but with the breath held in. So drawing the navel and like flexing the diaphragm, bringing the diaphragm up and in, and then letting it relax, and up and in, and letting it relax, like very rapidly. So I'll show you here. I'm not going to lift my shirt, but you can see from my hands. We take a deep inhale in, we hold, we lift the energy, and then we pump the belly. We'll start with 11 times and then go all the way up to 22 times. And just stay in that comfortable zone where you are. You can see how many you can get, but we want to actually be like pumping it. So, and getting really embodied in the practice, in the navel. What this does is it might unlock a little bit of heat in your experience. Definitely going to unlock some energy. So you're going to feel energized as well. But stay focused at the no. The hands were just to show you, so I didn't have to lift my shirt. I can lift my shirt if you want, but it's basically the diaphragm. So let's just practice a little bit of breath of fire just to feel the navel pumping. So breath of fire is like a panting breath, drawing the navel and the diaphragm up and in, and feel the mechanism of the belly moving, right? But then close the nose. So you can still feel that pump. And breath of fire is a beautiful practice. For some reason, I'm being called to teach us Agni Sara today, which is a little bit more advanced than breath of fire itself, but it's fine. It's fine. We're gonna get there. Just really focus on the navel. And so what we're gonna do is it's like you're holding the breath, but you're moving the belly like it's breath of fire. Right? So, and we do it at the top of the breath and then at the bottom of the breath with the breath held out. So we introduced a little bit of breath retention in week 1. And the breath retention of holding the breath at the top and holding the breath at the bottom. So now we're going to extend it a little bit. So we focus, the breath held in, focus on just dropping into the navel, feeling the pumps, 11 to 22 times, right? Just start with 11. And then we exhale. Then we hold the breath out. And don't focus on holding the breath out, just focus on the pumps, right? You can focus on the stillness of the breath being stopped, but don't and if you're gasping for air afterwards, or you're like after pumping, you've done too many pumps. So go back to 11, okay? And we're not going to do it for very long. It's a very powerful practice. We're going to do it for 5 minutes, which is more than enough, and then we'll go from there. And then we'll drop into the state. So like I said, you might feel a good amount of heat turn on. The body temperature might go up a few degrees while we're doing this. And we'll play with the cooling breath later. Not today, but we'll play with the cooling breath later in the month. And so you can start to see how prana and the body and the way that we use the human instrument guides our experience. It guides our energy with the different things that we do. And I love this practice. It's like the beginning stages of a practice called Sudarshan Chakra Kriya, where you take a deep inhale and there's a couple ways to do it, but you take a deep inhale. I think it's typically through the left nostril. Then you hold the breath at the top, and then you pump 48 times. Yeah, 48 times. Okay, so 11, just think of that. When you're doing the 11, be like, hey, at least it's not 48 today. And then you do it like we do it to a mantra, the Sudarshan Chakra Kriya. We do it to a mantra, Wa, hey, Guru, Wa, hey, Guru, Wa, hey, Guru. So it's like pump, 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 like, and it keeps going for 48 times. But today, Agni Sara, 11 pumps with the breath held in and then the breath held out. And then we cycle. We got it? Everybody got it? We got it? We're good? We're going to tune in. Like we're going to tune in with Ang Namo Guru Dev Namo. And then we'll get going. Sound good? Yeah. All right. Let's bring ourselves present. Feet planted on the floor, or if you're sitting on the ground, you can be in easy pose with the shins crossed in front, or you can be in Siddhasana or Sukhasana. Sukhasana is easy pose. Siddhasana with the ankles in front, right? And if you could do lotus pose, great, do that. But a comfortable meditative position where you're holding the spine tall. You can feel the rootedness of the sit bones and the feet planted on the floor if you're in a chair. And we'll take some deep breaths down into the belly. Like that yogic breath from night one. And then on the exhale, begin to use the belly and draw the navel to the spine. Lifting the diaphragm a little bit, emptying the whole breath out. And then you can relax the belly, draw another deep inhale into the belly. All the way down, filling the belly with air and prana. And then again, exhale, pulling the navel to the spine. Diaphragm lifts just a little bit, emptying out all the way, and then inhale. We'll do a couple more of these, already getting our focus anchored down there at the navel. Deep inhales into the belly. And exhale, drawing the navel to the spine. All right. We'll tune in, chanting Ang Namo Guru Dev Namo 3 times. And then we'll begin our practice. So let's rub our palms together. Bring the hands to the heart. Just recognizing this present moment, how powerful it is to come together, to come back to self, and to engage with the body in the prana, in the mind in this way. Awakening our higher potential together. Potential for love, for creativity, for balance. A deep inhale. Ang Namo Guru Dev Namo. Ang Namo Guru Dev Namo. Namo. Deep inhale. Gentle pause. Being still. And then exhale. Release the hands down. Palms up, first finger and thumbs together in Gyan Mudra, the mudra of expansion. And we will begin our practice. Your pace may be faster or slower than mine. So we'll take a deep inhale. Just honor your own pace. Deep inhale. Hold and pump the navel 11 to 22 times. And then when you're ready, exhale. Hold the breath out and pump 11 to 22 times. And when you need to, inhale again. Hold and pump. And then exhale as needed. Hold out and pump 11 to 22 times. Remember, if you're gasping for breath, you may be trying to pump too many times. Even if you got to drop it below 11, just try to really focus on the navel, the pumps, the stillness in between breaths, and keep going. You're doing great. Do one more full round. So one more inhale, pumping, exhale, pumping. And after your last round, take a deep inhale and just hold. Hold the breath. Lift, mulaband, root lock, lifting the muscles of the pelvic floor. So tightening between the sit bones, pubic bone, and tailbone, lifting the energy up. Lift the navel up and in. And then exhale. We'll do that 2 more times. Deep inhale. Hold, lift, mulaband. When you're lifting the navel up and in, this is Uddiyana Bandha. It's another bandha. It's how we direct energy up the spine. And then exhale. One more inhale, deep inhale. Hold, lift. Focus in the center of the brain now. And then exhale calmly. Exhale all of the breath out. And then at the bottom of the breath, hold the breath out and lift. Lift, root lock, lift the navel, Uddiyana Bandha. Bring the navel towards the spine. Breath held out. And then again, before you need to gasp, go ahead and relax the belly and take a calm breath in. And then a full exhale. And try to remain still. Tuning to within. You might feel a good amount of energy at the navel. And you can see this energy like a burning sun, swirling. And just feeling your power center. Manipura chakra, the solar plexus. Go ahead and deepen your breath. A few deep breaths. You can exhale out of the mouth, helping release some of that extra heat. And we'll close our practice with a long sat, short nam. Rubbing the palms together. Bringing the hands to the heart. Such gratitude. Gratitude for the opportunity to practice together, for the opportunity to have a body. Gratitude for the breath, for these teachings, for the technology that can connect us near and far. A long sat, short nam. Deep inhale. Sat nam. Blessings and peace to you. If you were challenged a little bit by today's practice, that's okay. Just note it and know that that's why it's a practice. We continue to engage with these practices. The more often that we do, the more natural that they'll become. And it's a really good idea to work with the navel in some capacity each and every day. It's our power center. There's so much unused energy locked up in our lifeline at our navel, and it can cut through the noise, the dissonance, and drop us into a deeply embodied state connected to our true identity. The jewels of our identity live at the navel, where the power of transformation starts. And as we pump, we're lifting this energy still. We're lifting the energy from the navel with each pump more and more into the heart, into the heart, into the heart. And we're igniting that spiritual fire, the Kundalini. And it will lead us where we're meant to be led. That's an easy way to say it'll lead us into the joys and into the challenges that bring more joys. Right? I love you all very much. I did not press record, so I'm gonna have to download this from Twitch. But yeah, that's it. Any questions? How you feeling? How was the pumping? How was the navel? We'll work on the bandhas tomorrow. Remind me if you're here, please. The bandhas are the energy locks. So when we hold the breath in at the end of a breath sequence, or at the end of a posture sequence, we hold the breath in, we lift the pelvic floor, Mula Bandh, we lift the navel, Uddiyana Bandh, and then we pull the chin back and lift through the crown, and that's Jalanda Bandh, neck lock, and it helps like systematically lift and lock the energy in the higher centers. And we'll get into why we do that tomorrow, mostly for stabilization. But yeah. All right. I love you. I gotta stop streaming so I can, ooh, that sounds nice. What scents you got going? Bandhas. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be fun. And also tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, so 10 Pacific, 11 Mountain, noon Central, 1 o'clock Eastern, we do chill train yoga for an hour. So we do the spinal series. It's the Hyperspace Sadhana. We do the spinal series, which helps to loosen, open the body. And then we drop into a 30-minute breath practice. And it's wonderful. So if you are around and you can tune in, please do. And then we raid into Mikey Thunder's channel for the children. And yeah, blend concept. That sounds awesome. Transmissions of peace to all. Yes, we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, multiple times. Still gonna do this at 9 p.m. tomorrow as well. And I'll check y'all later. Have a beautiful night. Reach out if you need anything. I'm here. And I'll see you when then becomes now. Peace.